Today I'm going to be ranking all 8 Soulsborne games, including Nightreign, from worst to best, in my own personal opinion. If you disagree, I don't care. But let me know what your ranking is on the comments. Alright, coming in number 8, my least favourite, Sekiro. Alright, this is going to annoy people, but remember this is my list. The level design, combat flow, and the bosses all make this game really good, but there's no build variety or replayability to this game. And this is one of the Soulsborne games where I have no knowledge on, so I will get stuck on some parts and forget where items and areas are, which does bring the game lower than the others, because I don't enjoy being stuck on parts of the game. Even though I've been in this game 3 times, I'm still clueless. This game is really satisfying when parrying, and the bosses were really difficult but give you such a relief when you finally beat them, and it's very rewarding. My favourite bosses are Genichiro, Owl, and the Troll. But anyway, moving on to the number 7 spot, we have... Now, I don't get why people glaze this game so much and always put it in number 1. I have a lot of negativity for this game. Right, this game is locked on 30 FPS, which is absolutely atrocious. The bosses are terrible and boring. We got Witches of Hemwick, Rom, Living Failures, Celestial Emissaries, Mikolash, Rogo's Wet Norris, Bloodstaff Beast, and more. I'm not a fan of the areas. They're all extremely plain and boring and basically the same. The atmosphere isn't even that good, and the boss lineup sucks. Now, the reason I have this game higher than Sekiro, even though I have lots of negativity for this game, is because it's fun. Now, this is a classic, FromSoft's first Soulsborne game in the series, released in 2009 and got a remake in 2020. I can confidentially say, I love this game. Now, I never played the original because I don't have a PS3 that works anymore, sadly, but I have played the remake multiple times. This game usually is last place for everyone, I can see that, but I really like this game. Now, the bosses in this game are gimmicky, and I like how FromSoft made it work. I'm not usually a fan of gimmicky bosses, but Demon Souls gets a pass on that because I really enjoyed the bosses. I really love the world in this game, and level design is excellent, and yeah. Next up on my list is... This might be a shocker, but from this part of the list going higher, these are the greatest of great in the Soulsborne series. Next we have Dark Souls 3. I'll never forget the first time beating Abyss Watchers. The movement in this game feels great, build variety is good. Don't even get me started on the bosses. Dark Souls 3 has the greatest boss lineup in any Soulsborne game. It's got Gundyr, Name's King, Pontiff, Medea, Gale. The levels are underwhelming, but if they were any better, this game would have been high on my list. This was a perfect way to end the trilogy, and the DLCs are great. Yeah, we don't talk about that. Alright, next up we have Eldenring. The open world was an awesome feature, but the thing is, I don't want it in any more Soulsborne games. I still remember coming home from school and booting up my PlayStation to see Eldenring already downloaded. I felt so happy to try this game out. My first playthrough was atrocious. I had a +2 Uchigatana when I went up to Morgoth, and that was halfway through the game. And yeah, I was so bad back then. But the open world really ruined that for me, and that's why I had no upgrade material since the map is massive, like the low tap of had. And there's so many areas and catacombs and bosses, I couldn't get myself to look everywhere for items. In the other games, I never really needed to search up on where to find items, but Eldenring I ended up having to in my later playthroughs. The build variety is amazing. There's so many weapon spells and incants you can use. But the problem I hate is doing every single playthrough is running through the entire map gathering up stuff for my build. And guess what causes that? Open world. Alright, now we have reached the top 3. This is going to be the part of the ranking where I'm going to go in depth of why I love these games. Alright, we have my first Soulsborne game, Dark Souls. I don't even know where to begin. The music in this game is perfect. Hearing Plim Plim Plon was such a great experience. I remember asking my cousin to borrow this game. I was so bad. I literally I went to my inventory to heal. I didn't even press square. Don't worry, that was only in the asylum. I didn't even know where there was a sprint button. I didn't understand weapon scaling with strength and dex and all that. I think I remember leveling up strength when I had a dex weapon. I was fat rolling throughout half the game, but yeah, I still beat Dark Souls easily because I'm goated. Now, my cousin came to my house and I decided to play Dark Souls and get some help from him. Ethan eventually played this game a few years back, but went into an area so far into the game early, he quit. I remember dying to Taurus Demon a lot, and finally beating him. made both of us really happy. And figuring out you can shoot the dragon's tail to get the Drake sword blew our minds. The sword was really OP early game. The lore in this game is absolutely the best out of any game to exist, and it's so in-depth and interesting. The atmosphere and areas are perfect, yes. Even the second half of the game is perfect. Even though sometimes I can't be bothered to finish a playthrough when I reach that part of the game, I still love it, but I'm just lazy to continue. Firelink Shrine and Undead Burg are my favourite areas in the game. The bosses were really cool and fun to fight. I remember being cursed, and that's when I gave up on the game for a couple days, but I returned and beat Seath first try after recovering from depression. I'm joking, I wasn't depressed. But the day we defeated Gwyn, everything changed. We were really happy. Going down the elevator from Undead Parish back to Firelink Shrine is such an iconic part of the game. Connections between areas are perfect. Seeing Anno Londo for the first time. Entering the Great Hollow and going all the way down and finding Ash Lake left me in shock. The music and lore hit me after we beat the game. We ended up looking up Dark Souls on YouTube and watching videos on it to see what other people did. And then we saw Dark Souls 2. Now, Dark Souls 2, one of the most controversial games of all time. This was a game not directed by Miyazaki. Everyone says the bosses suck, enemy placement sucks, dodging and adaptability sucks, areas suck, skill issue. Now, continuing on from the end of Dark Souls 1 section, we saw a video and it was Dark Souls 2 Platinum video by Matt Attack. We didn't even know a Dark Souls 2 or 3 existed. That's when we watched the first 5 minutes of the video. We were so shocked to see that there was more to Dark Souls. I not this again. I bought Dark Souls 2 without hesitation, and so did my cousin. We remember seeing the Dragon Rider cheese, and that just blew our minds. The build variety in this game is the greatest in the entire series. This game introduced power stancing, even the bonfire aesthetics, which you can respawn bosses over and over. This game has great DLCs, a great base game. The lore is so good in this game. Aldia and Vendrick are so interesting. And everyone hates the adaptability stat because it's a requirement to level it up to get better iframes. But the thing is, you get so much souls in this game, you could reach level 80 within the first Lord of the game. Like, you could just defeat Rodden and like everything in its way and be level 80. It's that simple. But Dark Souls 2 is one of my favourite games of all time. This is a shocker, but this is my favourite Soulsborne game of all time. Eldenring Nightreign. Now, this game is different from the others because it's a co-op roguelike boss rush, basically. So there's 3 separate days. Day 1 and 2, you just go around the map getting loot, and then at the end of day 3 you fight the Nightlord that you choose from. This game has 10 unique different characters. It's got a relic system which gives you even more abilities. The bosses are so good in this game. Whoever made them, the Nightlords, need a raise. They need to make the next FromSoft game, and I'm not even kidding. The Everdark Sovereigns are a great thing to have in the game, which is just an enhanced version of the current Nightlords. We still need Dreadlord and Night Aspect. Deep of Night is so fun. The DLC, I don't know where to start for the DLC. This might be one of the greatest DLCs of all time, because it includes Dreadlord and Balancers, which are one of my favourite bosses of all time, and it has the great Hollow Shifting Earth, and 2 new characters. Like that, what more could you need? And the Everdark Sovereign for Balancers are really unique, I guess. The fact that they brought back some of the Dark Souls bosses in this game, or like just... I remember just seeing the trailer at the Game Awards back in 2024 and seeing Nightreign, and I was like, what, Eldenring 2? Wait, what? Nameless King? Wait, what? I was so happy. So yeah, basically, like, this game has infinite replayability, by the way. I have over 500 matches in this game, and each match takes 40 minutes. Round that up to whatever. hours, minutes that is. I'm not even sure myself. But yeah, you could play this game solo, duos, or trios. I always play trios with Ethan because we're just goated. Solo is fun. I remember doing that on my first playthrough. I did play the network test, and that was a great experience. But Nightreign is #1 for me. The greatest game ever. Alright, here's the final ranking. This is going to get a lot of people mad, but the thing is, I'm not the same as everyone else. I'm not a clone like everyone else who says Bloodborne, Sekiro, and Eldenring are top 3. I'm not like them. I'm different. I'm him. I'm the guy who knows ball. I have one of the greatest rankings ever, but none of you will actually understand that because, yeah, you just suck at video games. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video.